If you could see what is slowly destroying your life, you would stop immediately. But you don't see it. Because it doesn't look dangerous. It looks normal. Comfortable. Even harmless. That is what makes it powerful. Destructive habits rarely appear as obvious threats. They hide in routine. In daily patterns. In behaviors you repeat without thinking. You wake up. You move through your day. You follow the same rhythm. And everything feels fine. But beneath that surface, something is happening. Your focus is weakening. Your discipline is fading. Your time is being consumed. Not all at once. But slowly. Quietly. Over time. And the most dangerous part. You don't notice it. Because you are used to it. You've normalized it. Accepted it as part of your life. This is how most people lose control. Not through one big mistake. But through small repeated behaviors. Things they tolerate daily. Things they ignore. Things they never question. Until one day, they look at their life. And wonder why nothing changed. Why they feel stuck. Why they lack progress. Why they feel behind. The answer is always the same. Habits. What you repeat becomes who you are. And who you are determines your future. Stoicism teaches this clearly. You are not controlled by external events. You are shaped by your internal patterns. Your thoughts. Your reactions. Your daily choices. And if those patterns are weak, your life will reflect that. This is where awareness becomes powerful. Because once you see a habit clearly, you can no longer ignore it. You are forced to make a choice. Continue. Or change. That is why this matters. Because the habits you are about to see are not obvious. They are subtle. But destructive. They drain your energy. Steal your time. Limit your potential. Without you realizing it. Until now. Because once you see them, you begin to take control. You begin to replace them. You begin to rebuild yourself. Not all at once. But daily. One decision at a time. One habit at a time. That is how real change happens. If you're ready to take control of your life and eliminate what's holding you back, subscribe to this channel to get more of this. Because awareness is only the beginning. Action is what changes everything. 1. Constant distraction. Distraction feels harmless. It feels like a break. Something small. Something you deserve. But it is not neutral. It is destructive. Because it breaks your attention. And your attention is your power. A young man once believed he was productive. He worked every day. Sat at his desk for hours. Completed tasks. Stayed busy. But something didn't feel right. Despite all the effort. He wasn't making progress. His work felt shallow. Unfinished. Fragmented. He couldn't focus for long. His mind constantly drifted. Every few minutes. He reached for his phone. Not consciously. Automatically. A notification. A message. A quick scroll. Just a few seconds. But those seconds added up. Minutes turned into hours. And his attention became scattered. One day, he decided to test something. He removed all distractions. Phone away. Notifications off. Silence. At first, it felt uncomfortable. Almost empty. His mind searched for stimulation. Something to break the stillness. But he stayed. And slowly. Something changed. His focus deepened. His thoughts became clearer. His work improved. For the first time, he experienced true concentration. And the difference was undeniable. He realized something powerful. Distraction wasn't relaxing him. It was weakening him. From that day, he became intentional. Not perfect, but aware. He reduced unnecessary interruptions, protected his focus, and over time, his productivity increased. His confidence improved. His results followed. Because he reclaimed his attention. This is what most people don't see. Every distraction steals a piece of your focus. Every interruption weakens your ability to concentrate. And over time, that weakness becomes your default. You struggle to think deeply, to work effectively, to stay disciplined. Because your mind is trained for distraction. The Stoic does the opposite. You train your mind for focus. You protect your attention. You remove what does not serve you. Because where your attention goes, your life follows. 2. Avoiding discomfort, 900 words with story. Discomfort is a signal. But most people treat it like a threat. The moment something feels difficult, they step back. Delay it. Avoid it. And in that moment, they choose short-term ease over long-term growth. A woman once lived like this without realizing it. Every time something felt uncomfortable, she found a way around it. Difficult conversation. She stayed silent. Challenging task. She postponed it. Hard decision. She distracted herself. At first, it felt like peace. Like she was protecting herself. Avoiding stress. Avoiding tension. But slowly, something changed. Problems didn't disappear. They grew. Unspoken words became resentment. Delayed tasks became pressure. Ignored decisions became confusion. Her life became heavier. Not because of what she faced, but because of what she avoided. One day, everything came to a breaking point. A situation she could no longer ignore. A conversation she could no longer avoid. Her instinct was the same. Step back. Delay it. Escape. But something inside her resisted. She stayed. She spoke. Honestly. Directly. It was uncomfortable. Her voice shook. Her thoughts felt uncertain. But she continued. And something unexpected happened. The tension dissolved. Clarity appeared. The problem, which had grown so large in her mind, was resolved in minutes. That moment changed her perspective. She realized discomfort was never the enemy. Avoidance was. From that day, she made a decision. Face discomfort early. Before it grows. Before it becomes overwhelming. She didn't wait for perfect courage. She acted despite resistance. And over time, something changed. Discomfort became manageable. Less intimidating. Less controlling. She became stronger. More confident. More capable. Because she stopped running. And started facing. This is what most people miss. Discomfort does not destroy you. Avoidance does. Every time you avoid something difficult, you make it bigger. More powerful. More controlling. But every time you face it, you shrink it. You take back control. You build strength. The Stoic understands this deeply. You do not chase comfort. You train yourself to handle discomfort. Because that is where growth lives. In challenge. In resistance. In the moments you want to quit. But don't. That is where transformation happens. 3. Living without intention. Most people don't choose their day. They drift through it. Reacting. Responding. Following whatever appears in front of them. No direction. No clarity. Just movement. A man once lived like this for years. He woke up every day. And immediately reacted. Messages. Work. Requests. Everything felt urgent. Everything demanded attention. He stayed busy from morning to night. Always doing something. Always moving. But at the end of each day, he felt empty. No real progress. No clear direction. Just exhaustion. He thought the problem was effort. That he needed to work harder. Do more. Push further. But more effort didn't solve it. Because the problem wasn't effort. It was direction. One morning, something shifted. Instead of reacting immediately, he paused. Just for a moment. He sat in silence. And asked himself one question. What actually matters today? At first, the answer wasn't clear. His mind was used to reacting. Not choosing. But he stayed with it. And slowly, something appeared. Clarity. He saw what truly deserved his attention. What would actually move him forward. And what didn't. That day felt different. He still worked. Still stayed active. But his actions were focused. Intentional. Directed. At the end of the day, he noticed something new. Progress. Not massive. But real. And that was enough. He repeated the same process the next day. And the next. Each morning. He paused. He chose. He directed his attention. And over time, his life began to change. Not because he worked more. But because he worked with intention. This is what most people miss. Being busy is not the same as being effective. Movement is not the same as progress. Without intention, you drift. You react. You waste energy on what does not matter. But with intention, everything changes. Your focus sharpens. Your decisions improve. Your results compound. Because you are no longer pulled in every direction. You are moving with purpose. The Stoic lives this way. You choose your actions carefully. You direct your attention intentionally. You focus on what truly matters. And over time, that focus creates a powerful life. Not through force, but through clarity. If this is changing how you approach your day, subscribe to this channel to get more of this. 4. Overthinking everything. Your mind keeps moving. Turning one thought into 10. 10 into 100. And before you act, you are already exhausted. Overthinking feels like control. Like preparation. Like you are being careful. But most of the time, it is avoidance. A student once lived inside his thoughts. Every decision felt heavy. Every choice required analysis. He would sit for hours, thinking about what to do. What if it fails? What if it goes wrong? What if there's a better option? His mind searched for certainty. But certainty never came. So he delayed. Again and again. Opportunities passed. Not because he lacked ability, but because he never acted. One day, something changed. He watched someone else make a decision quickly. Not perfectly, but confidently. They acted. Adjusted. Moved forward. And he realized something uncomfortable. They were not smarter. They were just willing to act. That realization stayed with him. So he made a decision. Act before you feel ready. Not recklessly. but decisively. He started small. Simple choices. Quick actions. No long analysis. At first, it felt uncomfortable. His mind resisted. Wanted to return to thinking. But he continued. And something changed. Clarity improved. Confidence grew. Because he was no longer stuck in thought. He was moving. Learning. Adjusting. Over time. His decisions became better. Not because he thought more. But because he acted more. This is what most people misunderstand. Thinking does not create clarity. Action does. You can analyze forever. And still feel uncertain. But once you act, you get feedback. You learn. You improve. That is how progress happens. The Stoic understands this. You do not wait for perfect certainty. You act with what you know. You adjust as you go. You move forward. Because life rewards action. Not hesitation. And over time, that action builds confidence. Because you trust yourself. Not your thoughts. But your ability to respond. 5. Seeking constant comfort. Comfort feels safe. Predictable. Easy. And that is why it is dangerous. Because it keeps you where you are. A man once built his life around comfort. He avoided anything that required effort. Waking up early felt difficult. So he stayed in bed. Working harder felt uncomfortable. So he did the minimum. Facing challenges felt stressful. So he avoided them. At first, it didn't seem like a problem. His life was easy. Relaxed. Controlled. But over time, something changed. Nothing improved. His skills stayed the same. His confidence didn't grow. His life didn't move forward. He began to feel stuck. Restless. Unfulfilled. And he couldn't understand why. Until one moment forced him to see the truth. He faced a situation that required strength. Discipline. Effort. And he wasn't ready. Not because he lacked potential. But because he lacked training. He had spent years choosing comfort. And comfort had weakened him. That realization was difficult. But it was necessary. So he made a decision. Choose discomfort. Daily. Not extreme. Not overwhelming. But consistent. He started small. Waking up earlier. Working when he didn't feel like it. Facing tasks he avoided. Each action felt uncomfortable. His mind resisted. Tried to pull him back. But he stayed with it. Day after day. And slowly. Something changed. The discomfort didn't disappear. But it became familiar. Less intimidating. Less controlling. He became stronger. More disciplined. More capable. Because he trained himself to face difficulty. This is the truth most people avoid. Comfort does not build strength. It maintains weakness. Growth requires resistance. Effort. Challenge. And every time you choose discomfort, you build something powerful. Discipline. Resilience. Confidence. Because you prove to yourself. You can handle difficulty. The Stoic embraces this. You do not chase ease. You train for strength. Because strength creates freedom. And over time, your life reflects that strength. 6. Comparing yourself to others. Comparison feels natural. You look at others. And measure yourself. Where they are. What they have. How fast they are moving. And without realizing it, you begin to feel behind. A woman once lived inside this habit every day. She woke up and immediately checked her phone. Images of success. People achieving more. Living better. Moving faster. At least, that's what it looked like. Each scroll created pressure. Doubt. A quiet feeling that she wasn't enough. She started questioning everything. Her progress. Her choices. Her path. Even when she was improving. It didn't feel like it. Because someone else always seemed ahead. This is what comparison does. It blinds you to your own growth. One day, she stepped away. Not completely. But intentionally. She reduced the noise. Created space. And for the first time in a long time, she focused on herself. Her work. Her progress. Her direction. At first, it felt quiet. Almost uncomfortable. Like something was missing. But then something unexpected happened. Clarity returned. She could see her own growth again. Small improvements. Consistent progress. Things she had been ignoring. Because she was too focused on others. Weeks passed. And something changed. Her confidence grew. Not because she became better than others. But because she became better than she was. And that was enough. This is what most people forget. Your path is not theirs. Your timing is not theirs. Your journey is not theirs. Comparison creates pressure without purpose. It distracts you from your own progress. And replaces it with doubt. The Stoic rejects this. You focus inward. You measure progress against yourself. You improve daily. Without distraction. Without noise. Because real growth is personal. Quiet. Steady. And when you focus on that, everything changes. 7. Wasting time without awareness. Time feels endless. Until you look back. And realize how much is gone. A man once believed he had plenty of time. Every day felt long. Open. Flexible. So he spent it freely. A few minutes scrolling. A short break. A little distraction. Nothing serious. Nothing harmful. At least, that's what he thought. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. And slowly, a pattern formed. Time passed. But nothing changed. No real progress. No meaningful growth. Just movement without direction. One evening, he did something simple. He tracked his day. Every hour. Every activity. Every distraction. What he found shocked him. Hours lost. Not once. But every day. Time he could never get back. That moment stayed with him. It forced him to see the truth. He wasn't lacking time. He was wasting it. The next day, he changed one thing. Awareness. He paid attention. Where his time went. How he used it. What mattered. What didn't. At first, it felt restrictive. Like he was losing freedom. But in reality, he was gaining control. He reduced distractions. Focused on meaningful work. Used his time intentionally. And over time, everything improved. His productivity increased. His progress became visible. His life gained direction. Because he stopped losing time unconsciously. This is the danger most people ignore. You don't lose time all at once. You lose it in fragments. Small moments. Repeated daily. Until they accumulate. And those moments become your life. The Stoic understands this deeply. You value time. You protect it. You use it intentionally. Because time is your most valuable resource. And once it's gone, it does not return. Every hour matters. Every decision matters. Every moment counts. And when you treat it that way, your life reflects it. If this is changing how you see your time, subscribe to this channel to get more of this. 8. Blaming everything, 900 words with story. Blame feels easy. It protects your ego. It removes pressure. It gives you a reason to stay the same. A man once blamed everything around him. His environment. His past. Other people. Every problem had an explanation. Every failure had a reason. And in his mind, he was never at fault. At first, this felt comfortable. He avoided responsibility. Avoided discomfort. Avoided change. But slowly, something became clear. Nothing improved. The same problems repeated. The same frustrations returned. The same life continued. Because nothing changed. One day, something shifted. Not outside, but inside. He realized something difficult. As long as he blamed everything else, he would never take control. And without control, there would be no progress. That realization was uncomfortable. Because it removed his excuses. It forced him to face the truth. If nothing changes, it is because I am not changing. That thought stayed with him. And slowly, he made a different choice. Take responsibility. Not for everything that happened, but for what he did next. He stopped pointing outward. And started looking inward. What can I improve? What can I change? What can I control? That shift changed everything. He began to act differently. More intentionally. More responsibly. More decisively. And over time, his life improved. Not because circumstances became perfect, but because he became stronger. More capable. More disciplined. This is the truth most people avoid. Blame removes your power. Responsibility gives it back. Because when you take ownership, you take control. And when you take control, you create change. The Stoic lives by this. You focus on what you can control. You improve yourself daily. You take responsibility for your actions. Because that is where your power lives. If this is changing how you see your situation, subscribe to this channel to get more of this. 9. Ignoring self-reflection, 900 words with story. Most people live on repeat. Same habits. Same mistakes. Same results. Not because they can't change, but because they never stop to think. A man once lived this way for years. Every day felt the same. Wake up. Work. Distract himself. Sleep. No reflection. No evaluation. No growth. He believed he was improving. But nothing actually changed. Until one night, something shifted. He sat in silence. No distractions. No noise. Just his thoughts. And for the first time, he asked himself a simple question. What did I do today? The answer was uncomfortable. Because it forced him to see the truth. Wasted time. Missed opportunities. Repeated mistakes. Patterns he had been ignoring. At first, it felt difficult. Almost frustrating. But he didn't stop. He asked another question. What can I do better tomorrow? That question changed everything. Because it created awareness. And awareness created direction. The next day, he made small changes. Nothing dramatic. Just intentional. Then that night, He reflected again. And adjusted again. Day by day. He improved. Not because life changed. But because he learned. From his own actions. From his own mistakes. From his own patterns. This is what reflection does. It turns experience into growth. Without it, you repeat. With it, you evolve. The Stoic understands this deeply. You examine your life daily. You question your actions. You correct your mistakes. You improve consistently. Because growth requires awareness. And awareness requires reflection. If this is changing how you see your habits, subscribe to this channel to get more of this. 10. Letting emotions control you, 900 words with story. Emotions are powerful. They appear quickly. Intensely. Without warning. And if you are not careful, they control you. A man once reacted to everything. Frustration. Anger. Stress. The moment he felt it. He acted. Spoke quickly. Decided impulsively. Reacted without thinking. At first, it felt natural. Honest. Real. But over time, the consequences appeared. Damaged relationships. Missed opportunities. Regret. Because his reactions created problems. One day, something changed. Not because life became easier. But because he paused. Just for a moment. Instead of reacting immediately. He waited. The emotion was still there. Strong. Intense. But he didn't act on it. He observed it. Watched it pass. And in that space, something powerful happened. Clarity. He could think. Choose. Respond differently. That moment changed everything. Because he realized something important. You cannot always control what you feel. But you can control what you do. And that control changes your life. He practiced this daily. Not perfectly. But consistently. Pause. Observe. Respond. Over time, his reactions improved. His decisions became better. His life became more stable. Because he was no longer controlled by emotion. He was guided by reason. This is the Stoic way. You do not suppress emotion. You manage it. You create space between feeling and action. And inside that space, you choose wisely. That is where strength lives. These habits are not obvious. That is why they are dangerous. They don't look destructive. They feel normal. Comfortable. Even harmless. But over time, they shape your life. Quietly. Consistently. Without resistance. Until one day, you look around. And realize something is missing. Progress. Clarity. Control. Not because you lacked potential. But because of what you tolerated daily. That is the truth most people avoid. Your life is not shaped by big moments. It is shaped by small repeated habits. What you do every day. What you ignore. What you allow. That becomes your reality. But now, you see it. You recognize the patterns. The distractions. The avoidance. The habits that have been holding you back. And that awareness changes everything. Because once you see clearly, you cannot go back. You are forced to choose. Continue as you are. Or change. And change does not require perfection. It requires consistency. One habit at a time. One decision at a time. One day at a time. Remove distraction. Face discomfort. Act with intention. Control your thoughts. Protect your time. Take responsibility. Reflect daily. Manage your emotions. These are not just ideas. They are actions. And actions create results. If you apply even one of these consistently, your life will begin to change. Slowly. Quietly. But powerfully. Until one day, everything is different. Because you are different. Stronger. More disciplined. More aware. More in control. That is what Stoicism builds. Not motivation. But mastery. Mastery of your habits. Mastery of your mind. Mastery of your life. If this opened your eyes, subscribe to this channel to get more of this. Because this is not just content. It is a path. A way to take control. A way to become stronger. A way to build a life that reflects discipline and clarity. And that journey begins with what you do today. Not tomorrow. Not later. Today.